Also, child, do you have kids? Hello everyone, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. First things first, obviously, like last video, I'm cold, so I have this on. Don't mind me. If my hair looks a little all over the place, it's because I'm not doing it right now. Is it obvious that I don't write anything on my calendar? I'm sure it is, because there's never anything on it. I really only got it for decoration, and that's probably very non-minimalistic, if I say so myself. Anyways, I came across this one YouTuber. Her name is Hallease. I wanted to watch her video because I saw her locks and she looked very pretty. One of the videos that she had was a dear, I want to say it was like dear 35-year-old Hallease or something like that. I watched it, and what I found intriguing about it was that she was obviously looking 5 years ahead. It was like she was talking to herself from her current age and asking herself if she had achieved certain things that she wanted to achieve at this point in age, or if they were just null and void to her in her future age. Does that make sense? Being that I just turned 25 in November, so I have hit my quarter of a century age, it just feels like this would be the perfect time for me to make this type of video. And I wanted to do a dear 30-year-old Niesha. So this video is going to be a little weird because it's not going to be geared towards trucking, nor is it really going to be me talking to you guys. It's more of like a milestone video that I feel I need to make before I turn 26. I felt like I should make it now. So I guess I'm inviting you guys. My goal is 5 years from now, hopefully I can come back to this video and answer these questions. So it's like a time capsule thing. With that being said, I guess you could just watch or whatever. I don't know how this is about to go. All right, so Niesha, you're 30 years old. Obviously, I'm your 25-year-old self, and normally you would look back in retrospect, but I am now talking to you in past tense version of me. That is so weird. Before I get into these questions, I want you to know that I'm proud of you wherever you are. I'm not pressuring you. If you are not where I guess am questioning you to be, that's okay. If you have created new goals, that's okay too. I don't really know where you're at, but I want to start off with asking, how are you? How are you doing? How are you doing? Where is your mental? Are you okay? I want to know that you're happy, because currently as a 25-year-old Niesha, I feel pretty good. Obviously I have rough days, like anybody, but this is the happiest I've ever been in my life. I can only say that has come from God, because before God, you know, but in case you forgot, which I doubt you have, because it was like night and day, being in the world without knowing the reason why I was there felt like I was living life in black and white. And once I chose to walk with God, once God chose me, once God opened my eyes to the truth, it felt like I was actually able to see the color in life. And since then, my life has increasingly become more valuable to me. It was always valuable, but I couldn't see its value. I didn't find life worth it. And so I'm still living off that high of just knowing that I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed and favored to be able to see life in color. You know that I started my Christian journey in 2019. It's 2022 right now. So how are you feeling? How are you now that it has been, I think it would be like 2027 at this point. How are you feeling in 2027? Isn't it? Yeah, I think so. How are you feeling? Or I guess 2026 actually, unless you're doing it around the same time. I don't know. I'm not even asking what your circumstances are, but are you able to cling on to peace and joy despite your circumstances? You're probably encountering new problems that I've never faced, but are you still able to hold on to your peace that God has given you? Are you struggling with that And if you are, that's okay. But I want you to know, I know that the best way to get back in touch with my peace is to lean on God. And I hope you didn't forget that. I got another question for you. How is your hair? Because I'm going to tell you right now, and I already know you know this, but we had the goal that we were either going to keep our locks until we were 40 years old before we cut them, or we were going to keep them until after we got married. And it wasn't to say that we wouldn't keep our locks past the point of our wedding, but that we would relinquish the, goal of keeping our locks if we got married. Does that make sense? I already know you know what I'm talking about. So my question is, have you held on tight to that goal? I don't know if you married or not, but if you are not, have you kept up with your locks? Like, do you still have your locks? And how long are they? Because 5 years from now, I would suspect they're at belt length, like literally your waist. And did you dye them at all? Because I have only at this point taken hydrogen peroxide to the tips, and you can barely tell. I really like the natural look right now. So are you like deep diving into like different styles with your locks? Have you went from interlocking to retwisting, or are you still on the interlock journey? Are you going to the salon now, or are you still doing your hair alone? Is your hair health okay? Like, have you lost any locks? Because so far, I haven't lost any locks. Like 25-year-old Niche is still going strong. The only thing is I have one lock right here. You know the lock I'm talking about. It's a little bit thin from when we were putting our jewelry on from in the beginning when we didn't know no better. But that's the only lock that I've realized so far. And honestly, I could get it repaired if it ever gets too thin. So did you lose any locks? And I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you if you did. But give me the tea. And speaking of appearance, how's your body doing? I know this is a touchy subject, or at least for me it is, because I was working out really well from 2020, like April 2020 to like, I want to say like February of 2021. I was doing real good, right? And I'm talking about hardcore. Now I'm doing real soft, petty workouts. And I can't lie, I've gained a little bit of weight. A little bit. Just a little bit. It's not that it bothers me, but it's the fact that I want my body to look a certain way. I'm not like mad at myself, but being in trucking, it's a little tough with the workout that I want to do. So it's been a little bit difficult trying to navigate with my body currently. I want to be able to weight train, and I don't necessarily have the opportunity to do that on a day-to-day basis. Like, if it was up to me, I would be able to weight train 6 days a week, because the type of body I want will require that amount of discipline. I know it's possible, but it'd be very difficult, and I don't have the mentality to be able to manage that and full-time trucking. So fast forward, are you able to do that? Like, how's your body looking? I have never been above 130. I've always fluctuated from 125 to 130. Have you gone past 130? And if you have, it's okay, because I'm sure you still look good. But how do you feel about your body? And have you gotten to your goal of what you want your body to look like as far as having the tone? Because I really want to be solid. That's my goal right now. And I don't know how to really get to that point. But I feel like it would require me to do some weight training. So what about you? And I just want to remind you, in case you fell off, in case you forgot, this was your goal. So you might want to get into it, because you're only getting older at this point. Which, by the way, you're not old if you're 30. You're not old. Okay? So, because I, for one, am excited to become 30 years old. So I hope that you're excited to be 30 years old. So where do you live? This one is a little tough, because I'm going to remind you that your 25-year-old self right now does not know where to live. I feel like I'm going to stay in Michigan, right? That's the goal, right? But I'm not going to limit myself to just that. And I really want a house. That's like the last thing on my list, is to get a house. But that will require me to really hone in on where I want to live. And I know nothing's truly permanent, but I really want to figure that out. And so my question for you is, have you figured it out? I know you got a house. I'm not even about to play with you with that. I'm really lenient with these other questions, but I just know you got a house. I know you wasn't playing for 5 years. I know you got a house. That was the last thing on your list. I know you purchased the house. So what's your house looking like? Because if you didn't purchase a house, we're going to have some issues. We got some issues currently if you didn't purchase a house. Ooh, did you decorate it the way I want it decorated? Or are you like now into something totally different? Because the way I want it is I want some wood floors with some warm white walls. Like not to the point where it looks dark in the house, but I want the walls to be a warm white where it just complements your skin tone, because you are a warm person. That's something we just realize. Our skin tone is very warm. I thought we were neutral this whole time, but I don't look right in cool colors. So we would need a house to also complement our skin tone. I know we probably ain't even thinking about that at this point. You being 30 years old, you are probably not even thinking about something as simple as that, but that's what I currently have thought about. Where do you stay? Like, do you have a backyard that you like? Like, oh, and how is Pepper? Okay, that's we getting real far. Do you have plants? Have you become a plant mom? Because I love the look of plants, but I have never owned a plant and successfully kept it alive. I haven't really put too much effort into it, but you as a 30-year-old woman, I feel like you grew up a little bit more. You now have the opportunity to invest time in growing plants. Are you tired of your house at this point? Are you wanting to move again? Because I'm someone who, once I move and I like the place, I just invest in it until I am able to just mentally picture myself being there for the rest of my life. So how you feeling? Are you like antsy and ready to move on? Because I don't know you if you on that tip, because I thought that we would never do that. So let me know. So what are your new goals? I ask you this because, like I just stated, my main goal is to pretty much just get a house. There hasn't been any specific goals outside of that besides just continuing to grow in the areas that I'm already in, stewarding where I'm at right now. So what are your goals? I don't know how your life looks right now. I don't know what you would be having on your mind to like have like a goal of. Like that is so weird. Like what does 30-year-old Niche want to do at this point? Another goal that I have is to find a hobby that I really like to do. Like so far I really like going to the movies. I really like I like real homebody stuff. Have you branched out? Have you become a little more adventurous of wanting to do other things, like more sporty type thing? Because one thing that I realized is lately I've been getting into basketball, like randomly. I've been liking basketball, just the athleticism behind it, not so much even the sport, but what it means to be a basketball player and to get to the top spot. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know if you remember at this point because it's been 5 years, but on Netflix, there was this Michael Jordan documentary telling about his early career and things like that. And so it really intrigued me, and I was just watching a whole bunch of stuff about basketball, and I find basketball interesting. Still don't know about football. I don't know. But being that we have never been athletic before in our lives, it's interesting to me that at the ripe age of 25, I am now interested in basketball, even just a little bit. So, are you still interested in basketball, or are you interested in other sports? Are you like plateaued in sports and that was just as good as it was going to get? Like, let me know. And do you have other hobbies, like I said? So, where are you in your walk with God? How many years has it been? It's probably been about like, what, 8 years? Yeah, like 8 years at this point of you being a follower of Christ. So how are you in your walk with God, and where are you? As good as God is, I know you are better than who I am right now. There are things that I don't even know about myself that need to change, and He knows. And so I know that He worked on you in those 5 years, and I believe you're better for it. Right now, my main thing is trying to remember that I don't have to pray just the way that everybody prays, but I can just talk to God, that He's my Father, that I can speak to Him regardless. And I'm also trying to remember that I can come to Him with anything, because it's so easy for me to hold stuff in because I grew up as an only child. So I struggle with saying out loud what's going on with me, even to God. I try to only come to Him with the things that I feel is big enough for Him to work with. But I'm learning to come to Him about the little stuff too, instead of just saying, oh Lord, I see that somebody got in an accident, I'm praying for them, or oh Lord, I'm praying for this, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So how are you with that? Are you coming to God with the little things? Because it really does help. And it helps your faith too. I know it's been helping me in my faith. Another question. Are you still on YouTube? Is YouTube still a thing? Like, I feel like it would still be a thing 5 years from now, but is it the same? Like, I know that they are still growing, but is it something that you're still about? We started in 2020, and as of now, We just hit 60K subscribers. So that means 60K people are avidly supporting this channel. And I try not to even think about it because it'd be like, so I don't know if you're still doing YouTube. I'm not putting the pressure on you if you're not. Fill me in on that. Give me the tea on the YouTube thing. Like, how is that looking for you? Do you even like YouTube anymore? Just be real. Be real with that. I'll be real with you. The more we grow, the more of the negative side of YouTube I'm starting to realize. But I realize as well that because of God, I'm able to navigate on such a higher level than I would have if I hadn't had God. Because do you know I'd probably be depressed, as sensitive as I am? I'm so sensitive that negative things said about me hurt me. And it's not to say that they still don't get to me. They get to me. But God has given me a new perspective. And it's hard for me to be down bad off of negative comments and things like that. So I just want to know that you're okay with YouTube and you're still able to lean on Him. I want to know that your purpose in YouTube has remained consistent of helping and just allowing God to work through you. I'm hoping that you're on the same page with that and that you've probably even gotten better with it. So let me know, how is YouTube for you? Oh, another question. Are you still trucking? Now, this is something that is totally like, this is a mystery with me, okay? I don't know if you're still trucking like at all. And I'm not mad at you if you're not trucking anymore, but I really don't have a vision of 5 years from now where we would be at. Like, are you still trucking? Girl, I don't have nothing else to ask you about that. Because right now, I like it, right? I'm enjoying it. But I don't know what God wants for us. I really don't know. I've had specific things told to me by Him, and I'm following that, and I don't know where that leads us. But fast and forward, I don't know. I don't know if we'd still be in trucking. I would like to, but at the same time, I'm comfortable wherever God tells us to go. So what you doing with trucking, sis? Or are you doing nothing at all with it? Ooh. Anyways, what's your style like? I ask this because, hear me out, okay? We don't have one. It's not that we don't want one. And it's not that we don't have a vision of a style, but because for me, I work 5 to 6 days a week. More like 5 days a week, and I drive practically all day. I don't necessarily have the opportunity to build up my style. Number one, I like to be comfortable on my truck. Number two, it'd be like the last thing on my mind. And number three, I don't want my stylish clothes to get dirty. So I really only have time on my 34-hour reset to put a style together. And as I'm getting older, I wanted to deep dive into what I would like to look like, how I would like to present myself. And I'm not necessarily able to do that when I'm driving over the road. You know, like I've been sticking to spandex because it's comfortable. In our first year, child, we was just wearing jogging pants, and I'm talking about Hanes jogging pants, the men's jogging pants. It was swallowing us up. Even now, it's what I'm wearing isn't my style. And my style, I like ethereal, elegant clothing, but I also like the effortless with a touch of androgyny. You know, like I like, but I don't really know how to express it because I haven't really had the opportunity to. So I'm asking you, do you have the opportunity to express your style? And another thing is, you know, at my age, I struggle with colors because it can easily make me look younger. Like if I wear like vibrant colors, sometimes it makes me look younger. I already look very young, but I've been wanting to dress more mature. So I sometimes wear neutrals simply because I want to appear more mature, but I like colors. So at the age of 30, are you able to deep dive into some colors, or are you just unapologetic about it no matter how old or young it makes you look? Like, how is your style today? All right, so I guess I'm gonna get to the other questions, the typical questions, the questions that I really I don't even know what to think about these, but do you are you married, sis? Cause I can't even picture it. I really can't picture you married. It's so funny. It's so funny. I really don't know who you would marry. I don't know. And I'm feeling like the 30-year-old you is not married. It would be so hilarious if you're married right now. Are you married? Who done stole your heart, sis? Come on, sis. I ain't mad at you. Don't get me wrong. I'm not mad at you. And I think that's amazing, right? That's a great thing. But it's just so funny to me that only 5 years went by and you're married. But if you're not married, what are you doing? Do you crave being married at this point? Like, I don't know what you would think right now. I'm going to tell you how I feel right now. I feel like right now I'm very blessed to be by myself because I'm able to develop new things about myself. I'm still learning who I am, and I'm like having fun with being by myself. I don't want to sound like the cliche single person, but to be honest, I'm really enjoying, ooh, how am I going to style my house and things like that, to the point where it's like I'll be wanting to postpone all that other stuff of like being joined to somebody, because I would then have to sort of conjoin what I envision with what they envision. And I know that when it's the right person, I'd be more than happy to do that. But child, like, So are you married, sis? Woo, if you married, girl. But if you're not, girl, I know you enjoying your life. Whew. Anyways, also, child, do you have kids? Are you a mother? Are you a mommy? Other than Pepper, because you're a mommy now. Like, I'm a mommy now. I'm my baby's mommy. I love Pepper with everything in me. But birthed have you birthed a child? Because 25-year-old you can't even picture it. I found out some new things about birth that have turned me off even more. Don't get me wrong. I think the only reason why I'm still mind open and accepting of potentially being a mother is because God actually told us that we would be a mother in the future. That's the only reason why I'm even speaking this out my mouth, because to be honest, the older I get, the more I don't want kids. But I think God told me specifically because he wanted my heart to be softened towards the idea of having kids, because I think otherwise I'd be like, I ain't have no kids. I still sometimes say it, but I know I'm lying. So, girl, if you don't have kids, has your desires changed about having kids? Do you now want kids now that you're 30? But if you do have kids, I'm gonna tell you this. You just give me the tea on how the birth went, cause girl, no. Girl, no. I don't know how you did it. You stronger than me. You are stronger than me. And how is that life like, girl? Cause I know it's not easy. Cause guess what? I've been complaining about having low energy at this point. On a real tip, like I've struggled with my energy. I've been tired a lot lately, and my hormones been all over the place, and I just feel like I've been praying to God about it, because I'm starting to feel like maybe I need to go back and get my levels checked again, just to make sure like I'm not deficient in anything, because I've just been tired. But I feel like if you have kids, you probably rolling your eyes at me right now, because maybe I don't know nothing about being tired. That's all I want to say. Girl, I'm praying for you. Kids are beautiful, and I know they're blessings, but I just can't picture being a mom myself. And I know it's coming because God told me. But girl, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'd be alright if it didn't happen at 30. So if you're 30 with kids, I know that God was God was like, this, like, that was all him. Because if it was up to you, I know you would have waited a little bit more. Unless your mind has changed on it. Maybe you found that guy that sort of softened your heart towards those things. Like, because I don't think that you would be like, no, I ain't having no kids right now. I think that you would be more open to it if you found that the guy that you were marrying was obviously like someone you knew you could partner with in that area. Because I don't picture you marrying nobody that you don't think would be a good father. Okay, I'm going to tell you like this. I think one of my fears with being a parent is that I would have to navigate through it alone. Because that's all I've seen. And I struggle with that mindset because I know that it's just what the enemy wants me to see. But the reality is, I know God would set a foundation for my children. And I know that whoever I marry will be a true partner. And we will do everything together. Not saying like we will use the bathroom together, stuff like that. I'm talking about we would conquer life together. And we'd be able to manage kids and everything else. So I'm blessed that I can see that that's the truth. and I struggle with the fear sometimes, but at the end of the day, girl, I know that whatever you're doing, you're killing it. And I just want you to know I'm happy for you. And I hope that you can keep your peace even if you are like now married and children and all that stuff. And if you're not, that's cool too, because I know you done kept that peace and all that, whatever. I pray that in 5 years' time, I am able to watch this video and I'm able to respond to these questions with very valuable answers. And I hope that this video in some way inspired perspective. Aging is such a beautiful gift that not too many people take gracefully, but I know that either we age or we don't get to. God forbid if I don't make it to 30. I'm just happy that I was able to make it to where I am right now. And I know there's blessing in anything that God has his hand on. So if I am able to make it to 30, man, I just can't wait to see how this will pan out. So I hope that this video inspired perspective. You don't live forever, but if you've lived to a certain milestone, you better celebrate it because you didn't have to. And find peace and joy no matter what, in what area you are, because life is all about perspective. As long as you keep a positive outlook on it, you can get through it a lot easier. And if you can just hold on to that peace, you'll be able to love your life a little bit more. And honestly, peace comes from God. I wouldn't be able to tell you that peace comes from anything else, not the universe, not no crystals, no sage, none of that. But that's a whole nother story. But anyways, I hope that this video was inspiring to you guys. And if not, I hope that you were able to enjoy it just for the sake of it. And maybe it would inspire you, if anything, to start creating your own milestones, even if it's just journal entries and things like that. But I love you all so much, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Bye.